Howdy, and welcome back to Fridays with Phil. This is episode 2. We did one last week. Well, technically, we did one 2 weeks ago. No, I did 2 episodes last week, but one was the intro, so that didn't really count. But yeah, we did the first official episode of Fridays with Phil last week. And we just kind of went over questions in general for you guys. Now, this series is something that I am doing where I am taking relevant topics or questions that I get or that I hear from other people, and I'm addressing those based on my perspective and my thinking and my opinion on these things. And so we're just going to take it one step at a time, and each week we'll go over something different. So this week we are going over a question that I get a lot, whether people know they're asking it or not. They ask it in various different ways, but it all tends to boil down to one simple question of, well, how or why are you always so positive, Phil? I get that quite a bit. And on the surface, it seems like it's a simple question. If we assume that there's a straightforward answer to that question, that's because of X, Y, or Z. It's because of this one particular thing that we can point to. The problem with that is that it's an assumption, which isn't good for really answering the question the way that we want to. It tends to stem from people who kind of, when they ask the question, they almost sort of project an answer for me to give in their question. So it's kind of sometimes almost like a loaded question, because I tend to find that they kind of almost expect me to answer that it's due to my faith or my religion or my system of beliefs or something like that. And granted, there's strength to gain from those things, but that doesn't really answer your original question, because if you think about it, strength is not necessarily positivity. Those are two different things. So it's not really fair to answer and say, oh, well, it's because, you get the strength from those things, and that's, why you're positive, because strength is not positivity. The real answer, and again, this is long-winded because I want it to be long-winded on purpose, so you get all the pieces here. So start with, I'm a human, just like the rest of you. No, I'm not any kind of angel. Technically, that's theologically impossible for me as a human to be an angel. Go ask a priest if you need to check. If they don't know, go find your bishop, ask them. They can tell you that humans are not angels. They're two separate things. And at this point, at least, I'm not a saint either. A, because I haven't been canonized by the church for that, and B, because I'm not dead. So people that go to heaven are considered saints, at least in the Catholic Church. And since I'm still here, still here, I'm not dead. So therefore, I cannot be a saint. And by extension, that means I am not perfect. So now that we have that out of the way, that I'm not some kind of higher level person than any of the rest of you, we can also address the fact that means that I feel the entire range of human emotions that are possible, as well as feelings, things like joy, happiness, anger, sadness, depression, loneliness, excitement, nervousness, anxiety, and so on, etc., etc., etc. So when people ask me, in conjunction with the original question that we started with, sometimes people will also ask, well, how are you so positive? Like, aren't you angry with God for allowing, your disability to happen, or for you to have ended up this way? Aren't you just pissed off, Phil? You've got to be pissed off, right? Because, of course, right? It's, and so, okay, so right now, as I'm making this, no, No, I'm not mad. Um, I don't really have a reason to be angry with God at this point. Does that mean that I haven't ever had those days? No, no, of course I have. Everybody has those days where everything just goes to crap, and you're just mad at everything. And I have those days too. Um, you know, sometimes when one thing after another goes wrong within a day or within a week, and it's all related to my disability, and it just keeps getting worse, then yeah, I'm angry with the fact that I'm stuck, at some point in the process, and I'm not able to do whatever it is that my current situation at the time then is not allowing me to do. If that's related to some restriction that impacts my disability, causing further restrictions on my physical ability to do or not do certain things. So yeah, at those points, I get angry sometimes, but I just have to take a second and stop and try to relax as best I can, and then keep trying to move forward. Do I get mad in general, just like about anything? Yeah, sure. Ask my family, ask my friends. They will tell you that there are times that, just like anybody else, I get mad. If you push me far enough, I'll show you that I can get mad. You don't want to see that, but I can push it to that level. I don't often, but it does happen sometimes if something is really bugging me. Do I get depressed or sad? Yeah, sometimes. Look, guys, on the whole, the world sucks. The earth doesn't suck, but a lot of the people in it suck. There's a lot wrong with it, and for me, as someone who observes a lot, seeing that constantly, just that almost constant failure, just inundated over and over and over again, yeah, that can be depressing sometimes. Um, there have been times where I've started to go down that dark path, and I've, let's be honest here, I've gotten close to the edge. I've looked over the edge and decided, for a brief moment, that I was tired of it, and that I didn't want to do it. But even during those moments of just complete despair, I always made sure that that I was something subconsciously always made sure that I was somewhere, that I was safe, that it wasn't actually going to cause any harm to anybody else or to myself. So I know, if some of you are freaking out right now after hearing all, this last bit here, don't freak out. I'm fine. Physically, I'm fine. I'm just saying, like, I've been to that extreme edge before, and I've sat there and looked off the edge, and seen what could have been there, but I've always backed up and taken a different path and moved on. So yeah, it's I'm okay. I'm in a safe environment at this point, so that's not a problem. Look, so the bigger problem here, just in general, is people see me, they hear about me, they meet me, they hear about me from other people that already know me. That happens a lot. Then they finally meet me, and kind of, I think, just in general, when someone finally meets me, combined with all the hearing about me and seeing me and whatever, I kind of tend to come across as the positive guy, that just is all the time upbeat and positive, and that comes across, and that's okay most of the time. Like, I don't normally have a problem with that, but however, when that changes, and it turns into some sort of negative emotion or feeling for me, when I'm at that point where I'm struggling with something that's negative instead of positive, when I'm feeling that negativity or that darker sense of emotions, I it's I kind of get the sense of people kind of saying, "Oh well, ain't nobody got time for that. Just you're the positive guy, right? So all the rest of us can be negative, but hey, Phil's the positive guy, so he's got to be positive. So he doesn't have time or the ability or the license, if you will, to be the negative person, because that's just not Phil. Why would he do that? And I find that just kind of stems from a lack of patience from a lot of people. I mean, look, so when I'm positive and I'm upbeat and stuff, everybody's fine because that's easy to deal with and it's simple and it works for everybody else, that I'm positive and it's all good. But when I get to where I'm having a rough day and I'm being negative, people, in most cases, now this is not everybody, and I'm not ever going to say that something is, everybody, that it's a, global category or anything like that, but for the most part, I find that people tend to lack the patience when I then turn around and have an issue and say, hey, I'm dealing with this that's negative, or I'm maybe not expressing it that well, but you should kind of be able to tell that, hey, he's got something that's going on. Well, then the patience of the other folks around me kind of dissipates, and I get a lot of the, especially if it's related to my disability, and I'm struggling with it. People have told me before, well, you're overthinking it, or you're exaggerating the situation, or just the simple, you'll be fine. And then the whole, okay, so this is the one that really gets me. I know what you're going through, sentence or statement, or then sometimes they try to just fix it immediately. I tell you I have an issue, or I start to explain something, and you immediately throw out a solution. First of all, like, how on earth do you know what I'm thinking when I'm the one struggling to express it myself? But hey, you think you know exactly what the solution is right away, or that it's not really that big of a deal. Like, to me, it's not really relevant whether it's a big deal to you. If I'm the one feeling it, it's relevant as to whether it's a big deal to me. So, someone that tries to automatically fix that, it's like, look, unless you know for sure that it's something that should be menial and actually is menial, don't say that I'm exaggerating it, because you don't necessarily know, you're assuming that I'm exaggerating, which isn't fair to me and it isn't fair to you. If it's a problem, that tends to mean that, hey, guess what? It's a problem. That means it's not okay. That's why it's called a problem and not a solution or an okay thing or a regular thing or a normal thing. So try not to just brush it off, as, oh, well, that's not an issue. It's not a big deal, because obviously there's some reason that I think it's a big deal, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't call it a problem or address it as such. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. If I'm taking the time to articulate something to you in a form of, hey, I'm struggling with this, or this is an issue, or have a problem with this or that, or whatever, take the time to actually listen to what I'm saying instead of just jumping over the top and being like, oh, okay, well, here, and starting throwing out solutions to stuff that's not even really the problem because you're not taking the time to be patient and listen. Also, unless you're a person who actually has another disability, please do not say that you know exactly what I'm going through if what I am telling you is something that relates to my disability. Because guess what? If you don't have a disability of any kind, then you have, zero clue what I'm really going through internally. Yes, you know some of what I am going through externally if you can see the issue physically, but there's also still an internal element there that's not seen because you're not having to deal with it because you don't have a disability like I do. Or, even in the sense of like some other kind of disability, so you kind of get the process, that has to be gone through to deal with whatever that issue is. So please avoid just saying, oh yeah, I know what you're going through, like you'll be fine. Well, yes, no, I would rather hear from someone who's trying to help. Hey, I'm here if you need me. Just if you want my help, I'm here, but I'm not going to force it on you. You may still be able to help me, but don't lie to me. Don't just make stuff up. Don't assume things. Just listen to what it is that I'm trying to say in whatever form it is. Don't force me to say more than what I'm giving you at a time. Pray and then help where you can instead of sounding like a jerk when I'm bringing this stuff to you, if I'm bringing it to you, or if someone else with a disability is bringing something like this to you. Don't make stuff up. Listen, pray, and then help where you can. Sometimes people come to me just to vent. They just want to talk. They want to get stuff out. And I'm patient enough to just listen. I just sit there and I'm just a sounding board and I'll listen to whatever it is that you have to say. And I'm not going to just directly give you advice, unless you say something that tells me that you want me to give you advice. Then I'll be happy to, try to do that within what I know and what I understand from what you're saying. If I come to you with a problem, though, and you can't listen with patience, then likely I'm not going to take the time to sit there and try to explain my issue to you because you're not patient enough to take the time to really listen to what it is that I'm saying, and that's not fair to me and it's not fair to you. Look, sometimes it's hard for me to ask for help because I already get help for things that I, really, really need. It's just kind of a given thing. I've gotten so much help over the years because of the CP, and I'm pretty sure that it's true for some of the other folks with disabilities. We don't necessarily always find it easy to ask for more help in addition to what we already get for our physical stuff because it's just a struggle. So, when I come to you or when someone else with a disability comes to you with a problem or a rant or, whatever other issue, receive us with patience and love, and we will certainly, or at least I will return the favor in like kindness and most other folks that I know with disabilities will too. Now look, the other thing is we're talking about positivity here. Positivity is not about what you have or what you don't. Look, for me, it's this. It's simple. I could choose to be pissed off or depressed all the time and feel entitled to that feeling. I could feel like I, have a right to be pissed off at the world. Or I could find ways to laugh until it hurts really bad or until I fall out of a chair, which, I've done that before. Just laugh until I can hardly breathe, and I can find, a way to love everybody and anybody that I come into contact with who is hurting or needs my assistance, or just needs me to make them smile for the day. Crying is necessary for growing in strength, but laughing is so much more fun, and it brings more hope into the world. In most cases, it happens that if I'm laughing, then it gets someone else to laugh too. It's contagious. Cerebral palsy is not contagious. Just throwing that out there. It's not. You're not going to contract it. If you need more proof that laughter is contagious, go to YouTube. Hey, cool, you're already on it. Go to that search bar at the top and type in Josh Blue and watch a couple of his videos. And I dare you to do it without laughing. I don't think you're gonna make it. I will warn you, he's got some language in there a little bit, but it's definitely worth it. So go check it out because he's hilarious, and yeah. So that's my tip for the day. He's a great comedian, so go check him out. Anyways, I will see you guys again next week for week number 3. And a new topic altogether. I haven't quite decided. I think we're probably going to talk about equipment and just etiquette for that equipment and how to respect adaptive equipment. And that's where we're going to go from here. So it's been great. I will see you guys next week. So this is Big Phil signing off. I'll see you guys in a week. Later.